Hey everyone, welcome back to KSSP Podcast, or if you're just joining us, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Katie. And today we're going to be talking about what we can do to combat the so-called laziness. So we're going to talk about some tips on how to reframe your mind. This is an article from Open Heart Holistic Therapy. It's called You Aren't Lazy, Ways to Reframe Your Mindset. This is important. Your worth is not based on your productivity, and rest is not a reward. I'm going to say it one more time because it's really important. Your worth is not based on your productivity. Rest is not a reward. So there seem to be several often unspoken rules that circulate in our society about rest, or what other people might call laziness. These rules might include that you have to earn your rest, you must demonstrate the need for rest through your productivity, a nap is only okay if you are sick or completely exhausted, and you can relax on your allotted 2 weeks a year vacation. If you're privileged and lucky enough to even have a 2-week vacation, because a lot of people don't. So the lie in all these rules is that relaxation is always lazy and selfish. That's why we reward ourselves for all our hard work with rest on the weekends or vacation. Laziness is a warning sign from our body and mind that something needs to change. So we got to start with self-compassion. You can try saying statements to yourself such as, I'm only human, I'm doing the best I can, I deserve rest, I am worthy even when I rest, I need to rest for my well-being, my family won't think less of me if I rest. And if they will, then that's their problem and not yours. So dumping the guilt. So some things if you tend to overthink when relaxing and doing nothing feels hard, you can consider taking a bath, reading a book, talking to a friend or relative, working on a hobby, stopping the scroll and hiding your phone away for an afternoon, and anything that isn't working or about productivity. You just got to let yourself relax because rest is productive. You have to tell yourself that to enhance your productivity, you need to rest. Think of rest as another crucial item on your to-do list. You nap, your walk, or time to read your favorite book are all in service of your greater health and productivity. By prioritizing rest, you are prioritizing your job, your family, and yourself. So rested mind and body will show up to work whether at your job or home. Energized, focused, and prepared to tackle the challenges and tasks that come their way, and that leads to better productivity. And you need to make rest non-negotiable. You deserve rest no matter how hard you work. It's not contingent on your productivity on any given day, and it's not a competition. And you aren't lazy. No matter how hard you work, taking time to rest doesn't make you lazy. So the next time you feel guilty or are beating yourself up for taking rest, remind yourself that you're giving your body and mind time to heal and recuperate. Think of rest as the medicine your body needs to be creative, productive, and energized. Most importantly, be kind to yourself because you deserve it. So that was the article for that. And something I'm going to add on to that. Because we're taught from a young age that rest is unproductive due to living in a capitalist society that prioritizes physical productivity over our own physical well-being, it's very hard to reframe our thinking in these ways. But it's important to know that if you're not able to properly rest, productivity rates actually begin to decrease. So it is ultimately in everyone's best interest to allow others and ourselves to have adequate time for decompression. And you can rest more and do less to improve your productivity. So let's see about that. So productivity is formally defined as the amount of output per worker. By the way, this is rest more and do less to improve your productivity by Brightwork. Okay, I'll start again. So productivity is formally defined as the amount of output per worker. The productivity of a factory worker making footballs, for example, could be measured by how many footballs they make in 1 hour. Although productivity has become increasingly equated with longer working hours in recent times, research indicates that productivity levels are falling in many economies. We know working longer hours reduce outputs that leads to poor decisions, mistakes, less creativity, and various health problems. Many Japanese workers work more than 60 hours of overtime each week, yet the contributing value, productivity, of each individual is the lowest among the industrialized countries. By contrast, countries with shorter working weeks, like Luxembourg, Norway, and France, now rank as highly as productive by the OECD. Just going to show a graphic really quick. So this is productivity slowdown in advanced economies, GDP per hour worked, percent change at an annual rate. So it looks like it used to be a lot higher from 1996 to 2004. And from 2004 to 2014, it's gotten a little lower, a lot lower in some countries. Like the USA, it's like half of what it used to be. Our brain can only concentrate for 13 hours after we wake up, with creativity lasting for about 6 hours a day. So research from University of California, Irvine shows productivity rises in late morning around 11 a.m. and peaks between 2 and 3 p.m. The next time you consider staying late at the office to get some extra work, don't. It won't pay off in the long run. So there's many reasons why modern employees feel pressure to work long hours. An increasingly connected global economy, the rise of contract and short-term roles, the emergence of an always-on work culture due to technological advances. Some even argue that focus on time management skills and techniques is to blame. Individuals are required to be hyper-productive and efficient. Any extra time, even time off, is quickly filled with more tasks and obligations. So a review of working habits of famously productive people reveals an interesting trend. They only spent a few hours each day working, with significantly more time devoted to leisure time and family. Whilst we tend to associate good ideas with hours of work, history offers a different lesson. Let's see. Why is leisure so important to productivity? Leisure and time away from work give us time to reflect and think about our experiences, to make connections between events, and tap into our creativity. Indeed, the Greek word for leisure pronounced the Latin scola, which became the English word school. Learning and reflection define leisure, not laziness or idleness, as we sometimes think. Okay. So, there's the idea that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice leads to mastery. It's an attractive idea. Log the hours and reap the rewards. It worked for the Beatles, who perfected their skills by playing more than 300 times a year for 4 straight years in the same German concert hall. All right, however, a study of German violinist students in 1980, it's kind of an old study, but okay, it reveals something else. It doesn't mean it's not valuable, but it would be nice to have a newer study. But the students were highly motivated, practiced deliberately and with purpose, and took frequent breaks. Each practice session lasted around 90 minutes with short breaks, exercise, and an afternoon nap. They also slept for longer each night than their counterparts. So these students were engaged in their work for about 4 hours per day. Rest, not constant practice, allowed these students to hone their creative skills. The equation for success is closer to 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, 12,500 hours of deliberate rest, and 30,000 hours of sleep. Okay. Finally, so a few ideas to get started with a new approach. Sleep. Sleep deprivation reduces productivity and leads to long-term health problems. There are many easy ways to invest in your sleep routine. Avoid using mobile devices for about 30 minutes before going to bed. Read a book and reduce your caffeine intake throughout the day. Disconnect from work. Use your evenings and weekends to switch off from work as much as possible. Ideally, don't check your emails or do any extra work. If you really need to, try to set aside a specific book of time to do so and stop at the allocated time. Separating work and home environments will help you enjoy your leisure time. Recharge your physical and mental energy. Unlike time, we can easily top our physical and mental energy levels. Tips include reviewing your diet and exercise habits, practicing gratitude, and giving time to others. Take vacations, if you can, anyways. Many executive managers and other employees are work martyrs. They believe they're so indispensable to the company that they cannot step away for a week or even a couple days. Of course, we know that mindset reduces productivity. If you are struggling to take time away from work, why not build and empower your team to keep the project running smoothly in your absence? So schedule gaps in your calendar. Like Dickens, Darwin's, and many others, Warren Buffett has a famously sparse calendar, which allows him to think deeply throughout his day. Schedule some gaps or slack in your calendar to think and respond to unexpected challenges. All right. So, in our stress episode, we talked about the negative health effects of stress. These health effects include overworking ourselves as well. Like a computer that gets too hot, if you're using too much power at once, our bodies start to fail as we overwork ourselves. We need time to rest in order to increase our productivity.
Yes, very important. Another thing, also, I think that's important to consider when talking about what can be done to help productivity is what businesses can do. One option that businesses can implement is a 4-day work week. Most of the companies that participated in a 4-day work week pilot program in Britain said they had seen no loss of productivity during the experiment and in some cases had seen a significant improvement. There were some benefits that have been shown after trialing 4-day work weeks, and those include better work life balance, people have more free time, there's improved employee well-being, lower stress, higher satisfaction, and some businesses have even reported an increase in revenue after trialing programs like 4-day work weeks. Now, we don't always have to come up with the answers to our problems ourselves. We can also look at what other countries are doing. So, we'll go to a typical Spanish working day tends to be from around 8:30 a.m. or 9 a.m. to around 1:30 p.m. and then from 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. to around 8 p.m. The famous siesta, whilst declining in the larger cities, is still a major part of the working day in Spain, according to business culture. Meanwhile, in Finland, Monday to Friday office hours are usually between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Lunch is eaten between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. and lasts between 1 and 2 hours. At lunch, what might strike you is that the business talk seems to go on. Finns love to do business, and during business hours, there is no time for small talk. And then all employees in Belgium, whether they work in the public or the private sector, will have the choice of working 9.5 hours a day over 4 days or 8 hours a day over 5 days, according to Euronews. So, overall, giving people freedom within their time is very liberating, and this liberation will ultimately lead to healthier people and more productivity. Join us in our next video where we briefly summarize what we've talked about in all these videos today over laziness, as well as provide some of our insights into each topic. And you can also leave a comment below letting us know what topics you want us to discuss in future episodes.
Yeah, you can reach out to us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And we do occasionally Twitch live stream, so watch for us there.
And don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you get notified of our future content and live streams. Otherwise, we will see everyone in the next video.